So after studying about the equivalent weight, the law of chemical equivalence, let's solve some questions. Well, in this question he is asking what weight of the brass is required to react with 0.2 gram equivalents of dilute H2SO4, and brass is an alloy containing 20% of zinc and 80% of copper. The point to be noted in this question is H2SO4, the dilute H2SO4 will not react with copper definitely, but had it been the concentrated H2SO4, that can react with the copper, right? So whenever brass will react with dilute H2SO4, only zinc will react and copper will not react. This thing you have to keep in mind, right? Okay, let's solve the question. Now, first we have to convert the number of gram equivalents to the number of moles. So we know that the number of gram equivalents is equal to the n factor multiply number of moles, right? Or we can say that number of moles is equal to number of gram equivalent divided by n factor, right? Okay, now if we talk about number of moles of H2SO4, so we have to find out the number of moles of H2SO4, that will be equal to the number of gram equivalents that's given to us, that is 2 gram equivalents. So 0.2 divided by n factor of H2SO4, since it's a dibasic acid, that's why it will be equal to 2. Therefore, the number of moles is equal to 0.1 mole, right? Now, as we discussed, copper will not react, only zinc will react. So, the equation of reaction of H2SO4 with zinc is, and one more thing, it is dilute. So dilute H2SO4 plus zinc will give us ZnSO4 plus H2, right? Now, from this reaction, since it is a balanced reaction already, we don't have to balance this reaction, and all the atoms are balanced in the particular reaction. That's why we can say that 1 mole of H2SO4 require 1 mole of zinc, right? So, how many moles of H2SO4 we have? The number of moles of H2SO4 is equal to 0.1 mole. That's why 0.1 mole of H2SO4, we can say that require 0.1 mole of zinc, right? So now we have to find out the weight of zinc. Weight of zinc is equal to the number of moles multiplied by the its molar mass. So it will be 6.5, right? Now zinc is 20% and copper is 80%, means they are present in 1:4 ratio, and that ratio will definitely not change. So we can say that 20% of brass corresponds to 6.5 gram. You can say here gram of zinc. Then 80% of brass, so that will be by mass, it will be 6.5 multiplied by 80 by 20 grams of copper. Now what is brass? Brass is the alloy of zinc and copper, and if we want to find out the total mass of the brass, we have to add the mass of the zinc and that of copper. So the weight of brass required will be equal to 6.5 gram, that is zinc, and 6.5, this is multiplied by 4, and if you, that will be copper, and if you solve it, it will be 6.5 plus 26, and if we add them, we will get 32.5 grams, right? So this is the final answer, means if we have 0.2 gram equivalents of dilute H2SO4, then 32.5 grams of brass is required to react, in which copper will not react. The weight of the copper will be 26 gram and the weight of the zinc will be 6.5 grams, right? So this type of question you can solve in this way. Let's solve some more questions.